Sega, from the time they entered the video game reign, they've always had this edgy, radical vibe, whereas Nintendo had this sense of family. Their mascot, Sonic, embodies everything Sega, as well as today's topic, Jet Set Radio, or Jet Grind Radio, as it was originally in North America, is a game developed by Smilebit and published by Sega. Despite the game's impact, there isn't a ton of merchandise for the franchise, but what we have is super noteworthy. Let's paint the town red, Rudies, and dive into the world of Jet Set Radio merchandise. Jet Set Radio would release in the year 2000 for the Sega Dreamcast, and before the name was changed, this t-shirt was given to Sega staff and volunteers at Jet Grind Radio's Graffiti is Art event, held in San Francisco to promote the game's release. Sega of America got in a bit of trouble with Mayor Willie Brown, who disapproved of Sega holding a graffiti contest, which featured 5 of the country's best graffiti artists, vying for a $5,000 prize. Sega argued that the event did not promote vandalism and, if anything, gave graffiti artists a legal outlet for their work. The T even says graffiti is art, and I agree. You can express yourself with graffiti without it being vandalism. Jet Grind Radio posters and branded folders were given away at Sega of America's Graffiti's Art event in San Francisco. However, outside the photos from the event of attendees carrying around rolled posters, and these mysterious folders, which I assume contain information on the game, I do not know what they look like. Probably a box art, but who knows? The official Dreamcast magazine February issue featured a reversible Jet Set Radio / Headhunter poster calendar featuring Go-To and Beat. Strategy guides for both games were hard to come by, with the original game seen only a Jet Grind Radio official strategies and secrets guide by publisher Cybex, and the Japanese Jet Set Radio Perfect Guide published by SoftBank. The sequel only saw one guide in Japan by way of Famitsu's Jet Set Radio Future Perfect Guidebook. Any other tips, tricks, and guidebook materials would be found in select regional Xbox magazines, but it is unknown which issues featured such information. With a series so steeped in music, of course Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future had a number of soundtracks. Released by Universal Music Japan in December of 2000, Jet Set Radio original soundtracks featured tracks by in-house musicians Hideki Naguma and Richard Jacques, with 14 of the 22 songs from the original Dreamcast version of the game represented. Americans who purchased Jet Grind Radio on release were given the Jet Grind Radio music sampler, which only featured licensed music added to the American release of the game, as well as songs not even found in the game. Those who purchased from Sega Direct, Sega's online store during the Dreamcast era, received the De La Jet Set Radio limited edition box with an included t-shirt which featured stylized GGs on the front and the game's logo on the sleeve. On display in game stores was this Jet Grind Radio standee featuring Beat holding a can of spray paint. In 2003, a figure of Beat released as part of a joint venture between gaming magazine GamePro and toy company Joyride. Jet Set Radio got a car as part of the Sega Hot Wheels series, and in 2010, for Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Collection, Beat was featured in the set. In 2010, once again, Philadelphia-based larger-than-life prints obtained the Jet Set Radio Future license and produced adhesive wall art from dozens, if not hundreds, of available in-game assets. In 2012, Sega released Jet Set Radio in HD to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PC, and mobile, and along with it came some really cool promotional items. Given away at events like E3 were a pin set featuring Beat, gum, pots, and the radio logo, as well as a branded lanyard featuring a smattering of logos from the game and character faces. The most coveted item from the re-release has to be the Jet Set Radio branded hooded sweatshirt, which featured the logo on the front and a very cool orange outline of Beat on the back. The sweatshirt was only given away in contests and to Sega staff. The video game clothing manufacturer Insert Coin introduced the Sega Reload clothing line which featured 2 Jet Set Radio items, a Beats shirt and a woman's shirt based on Gum's dress. As nice as the shirts were, fans complained about Beats' shirt lacking the record logo on the back, to which Insert Coin initially responded, "We did toy with the idea but decided to keep it simple. Sorry to let you down." Later, however, a revised shirt was released to replace the original, which added the logo to the back and adjusted the size of the text on the front to make sure it was true to the video game. In 2015, First 4 Figures would release a high-quality statue of Beat grinding on rails for $230. 2 years later, the second volume of the Game Classic series would feature a figure of Beat you can pose, unlike the statue First 4 Figures made. It would cost roughly the same as the statue though. In 2018, the Sega shop would get some Jet Set Radio merchandise, including a denim jacket, tees, a hoodie, glasses, a tumbler, and a patch set. In 2020, the store would get additional tees and a cap. In Europe's Sega shop, they'd get a tee, a cap, a coin, and a candle. A year later, Tubbs would make a Beat rubber duck that is totally not suitable for bath time. Here's an odd promo I couldn't pinpoint. It's a graffiti cocktail shaker with Jet Set Radio branding. Apparently it was officially licensed by Sega, and it's no surprise, since Sonic's had wine glasses. Really cool, not gonna lie. Expressing yourself through art is therapeutic and beautiful, because there's something unique about everyone. Jet Set Radio's cel-shaded art style has stood the test of time, much like Wind Waker. Many will try and copy what works, but those that stand out and be themselves are the ones the world remembers. Why be a passing fad when you can be your unique self? Jet Set Radio is still a Sega icon, and I hope they don't abandon it. I see potential in the franchise, much like Knights. We can only guess what will happen, but until the day comes, continue to express yourself through art, as long as it doesn't hurt you or anyone else.